friends, as you guys can see from the title. Today we're going to talk about our fall palettes. Now, I do this a little bit different in the last year or so compared to other people. I used to share with you guys my favorite palettes for that fall season, but my perspective has changed a little bit, and instead of doing that, I share with you guys palettes that I am intending on using for that specific season. So we're gonna talk about fall, y'all. So fall is literally here. I'm sad about it. I know, I don't mind fall, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work in my area when fall comes because we literally live in the woods. So there's a lot of leaves that we gotta pick up, and I don't like the cold. But I'm trying to embrace it and just accept it because I look forward to that transition back into summer. You guys know I am a summer girl at heart. I'm sad to see summer go, but we had such a good summer that I'm not complaining. Not that we don't ever have a good summer, but it was a really, really special summer. So I am happy that we're moving on to the next season. So I have 8 palettes. I don't think I've shared some of these with you guys in the past. I think these are all relatively new to this type of kind of video. So I'm here to share with you guys the palettes that I am intending on using for the fall season. So if you're interested, let's get into it. Okay, you guys, it's a little bit warm today, so I'm taking advantage. I know I didn't feel like wearing a strapless bra. Don't mind me. At least I picked an orangey color that matches with the season, all right? Don't get on me. Don't get on me. All right, you guys. So I have these in no particular order. I have swatched all of these so you guys can see all the beautiful color stories of them. It actually encouraged me and got me excited for me to actually get down and dirty and play with these, you guys. You know, recently I just did an eyeshadow palette declutter video. So these are ones that I'm excited because I let go of a lot, and these are really, really getting me all into the season. So let's start out with the first one. This is one that was gifted to me by one of you guys, and I am so forever grateful. I never tried the Melt Cosmetics formula. This is the one and only one that I do own, and I will say it's pretty good. Pretty darn good. But this one I would have chosen for myself if I were to choose one. This is the Melt Gemini palette, and you guys can see this is fall in a palette. Fall in a palette. I know some people like this for the summer, but I prefer this more for the fall season. It gives me the greens. It gives me the browns. This palette is a tree. And some of you guys are like, what? Okay, hear me out. For those that don't have 4 seasons, I feel like this is the bottom, like the actual branches and the bark of the tree. And then some of these are the leaf colors that come out. And then these are what the leaves will look like as a shift from summer to fall, and then they turn into this. That's how I picture this palette. So overall, this is a really nice fall palette for me. The formula is amazing. I don't know, I'll be bar hitting pan on these kind of formulas because these are ridiculously pigmented, and I didn't need a lot to even swatch this palette. So I can only imagine using it as a project pan. So I'm excited to pull this one out and use it a lot more. Here's one that survived a declutter, you guys. I was about to declutter, and then I was like, you know what? I do like it as a whole. This is the Nabla Cutie palette in Analog. I love these tones, and when I played around with this palette, I realized I do actually like them all together. I thought I only liked 1 or 2, but once I dove in, I really like it. These shades right here are my jam. All year round are my jam. I love those shades. I could have a million of them and I still would have a million more. That's just the color I like. You can kind of see what is on my eyes. I just love that shade. So this is a palette I'm excited. It's small to the point. It's one of those palettes that I can just reach for when I don't know what I want to do, or I just need 1 or 2 colors and I'm good to go, and I know it'll go with anything. So this is one I'm excited to also play with. This is a new palette in my collection. I have yet to even play with it, but I am actually excited because it's different from what you are seeing. Every palette I pulled out for this round is different from each other. It gives me a little bit of everything. It's not just oranges and greens and yellows. So this is the Eastern Fall by Sydney Grace. And when I looked at this palette, I really didn't think of fall, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm excited to play with this one to see what I can come out with. These 2 shades on the camera look a little bit more pale than they do in real life. They're more depth. This is more like an orangey red, and this one's more like a peachy pink. so I can see how, because online when I saw the pictures of this, I'm like, how is this going to go together? This doesn't look like fall to me. But as I've looked at it and I've played around with like swatching it, I realized that, yeah, I can see myself. So I'm excited to actually see what looks I come out with, because not every color story do I want to have a green. Not every color story do I want to have an orange. I want to have a little bit of everything. And this gives me something unique to play with. So let's see what I get. Next up, I could not do this video without bringing this one in. And this is the Anastasia Fall Romance Palette. Now this one is completely different from all the other ones that I've been sharing with you guys. This one, I feel it's more of like your evening fall time where you want the colors, like those murky date night type of colors. It's so beautiful. I really like it. And it's so different from everything else that I'll be sharing with you guys. But that's what I love. A little bit of everything, but it's still the same kind of vibe. When it comes to fall, it's very crisp and cold in the evenings. And that's what I feel like this portrays, because it still gives you a little bit of the greens, but it gives you like that night sky and some of those little bit of like green grass that's still trying to hang on for dear life. So I really like this one, and I'm excited to bring this one in and use it a little bit more. Up next is this one. I feel like this is probably my most colorful one that I'm bringing in. This is my Odin's Eye Stone and Rock. This one is your leaves on bushes, your leaves on the trees that are changing. It's mainly a green palette, but it gives you a little bit of depth, a little bit of brightness, a little bit of pizzazz to your look. I really like this one, and this is one of my favorite shades to put all over my lid and just be done. Just one and done. It's really, really beautiful. I actually like this one a lot. It's those greens that I like. You know, greens. Greens are my favorite color. So this, like even wearing it with this shirt, it just will look so beautiful on the eye. So I'm actually really excited to pull this one out for the fall season. This may look like a March palette, but for me, this is more of a fall palette. I couldn't do this video without bringing these in as well. So this is the Natasha Denona Golden palette. Now, during this time of year, we're always into greens and yellows and reds and burgundies and bronzies. But I feel like this one would be perfect for those days where you want something subtle, still going with the season, but not too orange, not too warm tone. This one's more neutral base, but you're still getting these golden colors that you're getting from changing leaves, a little bit of subtleness. Some trees don't change to just a light green or a red. Some of them are just yellow. Some bushes turn to yellow. There's actually some bushes that really stand out and pop this time of year. I forget what they're called, but they're all bright yellow and they remind me of these. So this is a palette that I'm really happy to bring back into rotation. So I kind of feel like this palette can go all year round for any season, but I do like it for this time of year because it has, some of these shades have a little bit of yellow undertone to them, which is perfect for this time of year. Then it's sister, the one that needs to be all up in your face, is the I Need a Warm palette. Come on. Come on. It's the warm type of season. This goes perfect from summer to fall. It's perfect. This shade, I am actually excited to use it for this season. For the summertime, I really didn't want to use this color. I mainly stuck to the rest of them. But I feel like now this is what a shadow, like a changing kind of, what the leaves do. They go from green to red. So this is perfect for this right now. For this fall season, it's perfect. I'm excited to continue to play with this one. Excited to keep it on rotation because it really is fall in a palette. Ooh, I'm so excited. And last but not least, it's one that I feel like tells the season of fall all in one palette. I know it's so odd, but take away what the palette's name is and the design and just look at the colors and it just brings me to fall. That's the ColourPop Harry Potter palette. I know, it's so odd. This was gifted to me, but when I look at this palette, I think of fall. So this is what fall starts out as. It's bright, fun, into like the summer season, and then it transitioned into this. Like I feel like this is fall in a palette. These blues also go in there well because I feel like the nights get deeper and darker, not necessarily bright and shiny. So I feel like this is one of the best fall palettes that explain fall in one palette. You're getting everything in here. The oranges, the yellows, the reds, the greens, the browns, and the blues from the deep skies at night. These colors really do look like, and just looking at these three blues, it reminds me of a night sky or a night in evening in the fall because it's cool, it's crisp, you're hearing the crickets, you're hearing silence, you're hearing like, I don't know, it's a description I can't describe, but it's like that cold breeze that cuts you, but it's not too cold, and you're hearing the critters outside and you're seeing the leaves. It's like, and it does get darker at night. I feel like it's deeper and darker during the fall winter season than it is in the spring and summer at night. So this is what I would say is fall. I really am excited to play around with this one. All right, guys, I hope for those that do not have a fall have gotten some sort of a vision in their brain of how fall is. I am not looking forward to the cold weather because I don't like it. It makes my neck tense. I don't, I don't like being cold, but I got to deal with it until we finally decide to retire elsewhere. So I'm excited to play around with these palettes. They're all different from one another. I don't feel like I chose a bunch of orange and yellows and warm tones. I have a little bit of everything, and that's what I love about this. And these palettes are getting me excited to just play with them. So you're going to see them in looks. You're going to see them in Get Ready With Me's. So I'm excited to pull these out and play around with them for the full entire fall season. Let me know in the comment section what palettes you're going to be pulling out, because I love to hear your suggestions. It always allows me to either play with the palette colors in my brain of what I have, or maybe pull those palettes out if I do still have them in my collection. Thank you guys so much for watching a video on the screen. For your enjoyment, until then,